Hello you lovely lot, my name is T and welcome to another video of looking at literature. This is just a really quick video. I'm really tired, I've just come back from work, I've recently started a new job, which is why I haven't really been doing much recently. Also finished term, so I've been sort of just kind of catching up on work and doing a lot of reading. And one novel that I actually managed to finish recently, which I technically should have finished before my exam, but I managed to finish it recently, was The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. I think I've already done a video on this before on like business and commerce, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the book as a whole because I really enjoyed reading it and I really liked Trollope. And I'm reading The Eustace Diamonds by Trollope. I'm hoping to start reading that soon because I need to read it for a text for next year. So I'm hoping to start reading that soon and I'm looking forward to it because I really like Trollope. So this is quite a lengthy text. This is, how long is it? 762 pages, so that's a lot. And oh no, my MacBook is dying. Hang on. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, it's quite a long text, and I just kind of wanted to start by talking about it as a whole and about Trollope's writing style. So the book is a realist novel, a realist Victorian novel, but it was written in the 70s, I believe. It was written sort of in the era of sensation novels, and so it's kind of competing with those kind of novels like that are dealing with all this crime and this like really exciting tier of literature. But this one, it's definitely within the realism genre. It's not a sensationalist novel, but what makes it great is it's kind of what I like to call the Victorian soap opera. So it's realism, it's like EastEnders. It's realism, but it's kind of got things going on that might not always happen, and it's definitely satirical. Like, that's the best bit. It's Collins is saying like, hey, look at this. This is happening in our society, but it's actually not great. So you've got things like the writing industry, an industry that Collins himself was a part of, and he's pointing holes in that, and he's saying, well, writers don't think of it like this. They think you don't need to make a good book. It doesn't need to be high art. It just needs to sell well and have good reviews. And so that's what Lady Carberry does. And it's just, that's what opens the book. And I think that's brilliant. I think Trollope does an absolutely incredible job of just pointing out all of this biting social satire and then just kind of sweeping it under the rug, and then he's just kind of like, yeah, but it's not going to change. So like, that's why Roger Carberry is such an important character in this novel, because he is Trollope's voice of reason. He is someone who is stuck in the past, but he makes it clear that the past ideals are actually the best ideals. So that's why Roger Carberry is such an important character. Another like element I wanted to talk about is the role of women in this book, because like there are lots of women characters, and they might all seem kind of repressed, which is very easy to write a repressed women's character in this period of time, obviously. But there was also a lot of feminist sympathies like flying about at this time, and I think Trollope was pretty feminist. So you got Marie Melmotte, of course, who is scheming, who, you know, steals money from her father, who believes in love as opposed to, you know, the marriage market. And I actually wrote about this in my Victorian exam. I wrote about this novel and its reaction to the marriage market, and it's like completely rejects it, because all of the women in the novel, they are all like, they refuse to be sold. They all make their own decisions. So you've got Marie trying to run away with Felix. You've got Hetta, who refuses to do what her mother wants, and she instead falls in love with Paul Montague, and after a few ups and downs they eventually get married. And you've got Ruby Ruggles, who kind of defies the conventions to an extent. She then obviously gives in and gets married to who she's supposed to, but she still defies those conventions for a certain period of time. And Trollope really allows his women characters a lot of freedom. And Mrs. Hurtle, who is this mysterious American figure, who brings me on to his to Trollope's treatment of the Americans. So you've got America as this new world, which is said to be what England is going to become. So it's sort of like a forewarning to Trollope's English readers, to Trollope's British readers. And he's saying, like, oh, if you're not careful, we're going to become like America, and we're going to be like this. Because America is not a land of opportunity per se, it's a land of making opportunity. In so much as, I mean, it's about. I've completely lost my train of thought. It's about schemes, it's about corrupt businesses, it's about making money wherever you can. It's about, so like the great railway company that Melmotte and his friends board, they are, you know, they're just making money off of money. There's nothing leading to it. So there's all of these lies floating about, and Trollope says that this is what England are going to become if they continue in the way of the Americans. So there's kind of this cynicism towards America, but he redeems all of his American characters by having them be much more selfless than the British characters. So Mrs. Hurtle, she strives to help Ruby and her love and her relationship, and then you've got Mr. Fisker, who, yes, he falls in love with Marie, but he also helps Marie and her family to get back on their feet after Melmotte's death. So there's a lot of sort of redeeming qualities about the Americans, which counteracts the cynicism of American culture present within the book. And then you've also got, which kind of leads me nicely on actually to the treatment of the villain, which is Melmotte. Melmotte is clearly the villain of the book. He is just, like, the whole way through, he is the bad guy. He's the swindler, he's cheating, he's stealing money, he's forging papers, he's taking every penny, he's becoming arrogant and big-headed, he's just not a nice guy. But then, through free and direct discourse, during Melmotte's downfall, the reader is invited to sympathise with him. So when he's in Parliament and he knows that he's sort of, he knows that he's done, basically. And he's thinking, yes, I did all these forgeries, but I did it for my own good, and I did it, and he just kind of wanted to succeed, which is something that he didn't have the opportunity for in his original country. I mean, possibly he did, but his past is really sketchy, and then it's never quite cleared up, so you never really know the truth. And so Melmotte is definitely the villain, but then you are, like, invited to feel a lot of sympathy for him. And I think that's a really interesting concept, and I think that Trollope did that really well in creating a properly human character. So it's really difficult to create a human character when you're writing, I know this from experience, because you don't want them to be, especially when writing villains, because you don't want them to be 100% bad. You don't want them to be bad down to their roots. So look at, in Armadale, Miss Gwilt. Yes, she's trying to get to Armadale's money, but she also actually loves Midwinter. So there's always these redeeming qualities to villains, which are really hard to create, and they make the villains a little bit more human, which I think that Trollope does really well. So I guess I'm done with all my points. I just wanted to say again that this is a really, really, really good book, even though it's a bit long. But I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's interested in Victorian literature. Yeah, this has just been a little quick video. I'm hoping to actually, get good and make more videos, but I'm so busy at the moment. I'm working like every day, and when I get home from work, I just want to sleep. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, or share with a friend who you think might enjoy it. And you probably want to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until then, cheerio.